Hey everybody. So on a personal front, I'm definitely felt horrible this morning, but it's like kind of getting later in the day. I'm feeling better. Where I just kind of I got like 14 hours of sleep last night, and then I took my emergency and all the general things that I take, all the different what do you call them? I don't know. Like I take like NAC and vitamin C and all kinds of stuff, zinc, did all that stuff, trying to bounce back from this thing. Um, where I work, they're being really, really cool about it. So, they're just like, hey, you take off the time you need. I always feel guilty when I'm like a full time employee some places because, like you're getting paid and you're not working. But fortunately, and I guess in some ways, my wife would say unfortunately, but for me, fortunately, I don't. I'm a contractor, so I don't get paid unless I bill, so I don't have to feel the guilt of, sort of not pulling my weight. I guess because I'm not costing anything to them right now. But anyways, that's not what we're here for. But when you just don't think clearly when you don't feel well. So I made a cool animation here. Basically, what it's a little different than yesterday's animation because the spotlight is also. Yesterday, I kind of had something that was going by and the camera was moving by, but the spotlight was fixed. But now I have the light sort of pointing at 000, but it's shifting on itself. So I'm gonna kind of make it like yesterday's, so we can kind of see. Um, so that's kind of like how yesterday's was, um, and that's pretty cool. Um, but then if this is more kind of like a helicopter, like the light is on the camera and it's pointing at something and it's sort of driving in front of it. I would love to have orbiting. I think that would be cool. So one of the things that I find a little bit like this is cool. I mean, this is cool. Like, and it just kind of shows like whenever like a few days ago when I was sort of working on this stuff, I was very very. I felt bad because I was like, man, I screwed up. Architect made a huge architectural mistake, and I'm not. It's gonna be harder because I try to do this arc astronomical astronom astronomical kind of thing, and like I really couldn't because things just didn't work and stuff like that. But then it's just like there are things like this effect would be extremely difficult with most tools that most people have, and this is along the lines of like just even the very top, HBO and those things where they have their animations. Now, one of the things that's kind of funky about this is how this, when the spotlight, the wall is. So there's kind of like two things we could do. We could add another wall, two more walls on both sides, or we could make this wall wider. So I'm going to go to the mesh and look at my wall and see what's going on. Okay, so I've got 100 width of the wall. Let me see what happens if I make it 1,000. Ooh yeah, baby! I see that. I think that looks a lot better. And I guess at some point you can kind of let me go back to my animation so we can kind of slide through and see. So like you can kind of see the top of the wall, which is kind of but and then I guess I don't know why we lose everything. Um, but at some point at the end there, I don't know if it's where the camera is. I'm not sure why we would lose everything and why it's getting dimmer. Um, but let's go ahead and take our wall. We could investigate that, and instead of making the height 100, we'll make it 1,000. And there we go. Now, basically, the wall goes on well beyond where the light can show. And let's go ahead and turn this animation back on. And I think that's pretty cool. Probably could figure out why it's going completely dim at the end there, what that means. But I don't think it's worth it. But yeah, so that's cool. And it's kind of funny because I constantly say I thought that I would bear it out once Um, gosh, sometimes things just don't look spelled right. Is that spelled right? Let me see. Treasure. Yeah, I think so. It looks like the Google's found treasure a quality of precious metals, gems, or other valuable objects. Um, so yeah, so that is working, and it could be like a brand name or something like that. These colors are completely configurable. Um, you know, the there's like kind of a floor and a back wall, but there was like all kinds of different things, and we could put angles on things, and it's just cool. It's really cool. It's like there are definitely ad artists that could use this to make delightful things. So now let's move away from the delight and go to the shame part of this. The part where we go, dang it, why did I not? Why didn't I split out the stuff that is ThreeJS specific from the stuff that is Showtime specific, application specific? Like why? Who knows? Who knows why I did that? I'm sure I could go back and watch the videos and find out. But you know, this is a project that I want to learn. Part of it is like being working on my own personal passion project with the goal of being a better developer when it's done. Um, I mean, you do learn a lot at work. Whenever you're trying to learn stuff and all that, but it's a lot less stressful and a lot more pleasant to learn things um, on your own projects, building your own things that you care about. Now, I would counsel you that if you are going to work on a passion project at home, it should have absolutely nothing to do with what you do at work. You should probably try to use, either very generic like Angular, like no one could say, hey, this is our project because you're working on Angular, because Angular is a generic thing. And then I have literally never worked any place where they use ThreeJS. So like at this point, this is my project that is mine to do with as I please. Um, but like if you do happen to work at, like, let's say an automotive, and then you decide to design the most amazing car software, uh, you probably are, at risk of finding yourself in sort of legal issues. I have a degree in electrical engineering, and we took an entire course on nothing but like really the only point of the course was to explain to us that we don't own anything. Um, so like even technically, uh, employers could come back and try to say that this is theirs, and like really what there is no real commercial value to this, but like I think it would be tough because I've worked for so many places and all that. It would be very, like, from a legal perspective, it would be difficult. And I do have one of my children is an attorney, so I do get sort of, I guess, free wouldn't be the right way of putting it, but like because he's a very busy man, so it would add a lot of stress to his life if I got sued by an employer. And then I was just like, I helped pay for your law school and I paid for your undergraduate. So hey, little guy, you should you should return the favor now. Like that wouldn't be cool for him, and he would take that so seriously, because he's just a really great guy. But yeah, but that does put me at a lot less risk. Where I have a kid that would take care of all the legal stuff, and I wouldn't run up tens of thousands or hundreds of $1,000s of bills trying to defend myself. Um, but anyways, I guess, yeah, this probably my ramblings is showing that I am still a bit under the weather at the moment. So this is a great time to write code. So let's go ahead and go back to the packages file. Um, package.json, and we're going to create two new services, and one is going to be services slash 3, and the name of it is going to be 3 scene. And I don't know what happens if I put a dash here. And I'm actually, you know what, I need to commit what I currently have, because the problem is that I want to just be able to just roll back out of any changes that I make, and I don't want to lose this code that we did, or this good work that I did here. So let me add that. I guess that was kind of weird. I didn't actually look to see if anything was just blatantly messed up. Um, Everything looks good though, you know. I mean, it's really, really good. It's good. Very proud of myself. Um, let's see. This is the spec for this file, which this file isn't even going to exist when this is all done. But okay. And then let's look at the scene service, and I think all that looks good. Okay. And then so let's just say git commit dash m adds this. What video is this? This is video 229. So I'm just gonna say that was video 228. Adds the scene service. Oh man, I'm starting to feel like crap again. So anyways, there we go. And then let's see. Okay, so 3 and then 3 scene. And I don't know if I want to, I don't know what happens if I put a dash there. I'm hoping it'll make it like camel case and all that, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I'm going to say npm, I'm going to call this T for 3 scene. Save that. Npm run T service. Boom, 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 boom. Doom, 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 doom. Do, 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 do. See. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. 3 scene service. I was saying yesterday I was gonna call it like TS or something like that, but why? I mean, it's just gonna cause me to have to use more brain power when I'm reading out what this stuff does. Okay, so I think that yes, it is less typing, but you know, really, is it that much more because you know these tools, you know, have things, you know, pre-selected things, and you know, when I name it, you know, I can name it a shorter name when I inject it and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think being more wordy is probably better, but I could be wrong, and that's kind of the point. So now this is showtime, and now showtime scene, and then save that and run it. And that is S service. All right. So basically, so yeah, so let's just double check this looks right. And then let's look at our file structure, make sure. So 3 up. Nope. Nope. Let's just go ahead and delete both of those. Move to recycle bin. And then go back into the package. Oh, this is the package. It's not supposed to be in 3. It's supposed to be in showtime. And let's rerun it again. And let's see where we at. Where we be. So we got 3 showtime service. Yeah, that looks good. Like it. So yeah, so we have our 3 service, and so basically what I want to do is I want to come into this scene service, and I just want to take out anything that is 3 specific and move it into the 3 scene service, and then anything that is showtime specific, so basically these guys here, move them into the showtime scene service. And once that's done, that's good. And basically the next step will be to implement fog. And once the fog is implemented, then the next thing will be is to give Showtime ID to this scene item. Um, and then once that's done, um, we'll merge it all back up with the main, and we will move on to uh, what's after light? Is animations, um, and yeah, who knows? I think animations is mostly different. It is not. It's kind of a huge mix of Showtime logic and scene logic. So I don't know exactly what how that's all going to play out. I think that is probably the biggest mixed thing because like yeah, that one's weird. Uh, because basically, um, I think other than having access to the actual three components or pieces or items, three items, other than having access to the things that are actually in the scene and all that, everything is Showtime logic. Um, with the exception of the hooking um, into the animation frame. So that will be that. Yeah, this has got to be one of the worst videos I've probably ever done in my life. But yeah, take the good with the bad. I definitely am glad I did this. And then um, as we move through everything in here, like this will be gone probably in a couple of days. The new scene service things, and then whenever we get to like mesh, it'll split up in the same way. And for long, our our architecture, at least from a file structure perspective, will I think be a lot better. Um, we'll have our utils, we'll have our we'll have our Showtime, and then we'll have a very obvious place to put like the physics engine stuff, and a very obvious place to put like music stuff, and any other thing that comes along. It'll be very obvious where those things go. Um, and then if we have to grow beyond that, then maybe there'll be sort of maybe a split on like third party things from homegrown things, because I suspect the music API is going to be like 100% interacting with the browser's API and Showtime stuff. I saw that there's some music stuff in ThreeJS, but I doubt we want to try to use that because that will be integrated directly with ThreeJS. But I probably will want to do things like, at certain beats and certain points in the military, maybe change uh, gravity. Okay, like, oh, whenever you hear the drums hit, gravity gets really big, but when you hear the electric guitar, the gravity um, goes away. Like, or it goes to zero gravity or whatever. Like I don't think I'll want the music integrated directly. I think I want to have more control over what happens with the three things and the music things and um, physics things and all those things. Um, so I probably won't want to leverage ThreeJS's music, whatever they have set aside for music. Like I think that it'll make more sense to do that. But anyways, yeah, I've been rambling, and I think this whole video was all rambling. But we did move forward. We do have these empty services that I can use, that I could start migrating things over to here. There's going to be a pretty big impact, I think, on the three service. And at some point, like I said, this three service is going to get renamed to manager. Um, and then, but you see there's like scene service all over there. So update scene is going to be like this dot three service update scene. So it'll be very clear that this is updating the scene. But then there'll also be a call like three service Showtime update scene, right? Like, and then that way we'll know, um, like it'll separate those two concerns. Whereas this up here, setup scene, will probably just, and that's probably like another thing I need to do is in the like I probably need to like the scenes like everybody just er, er, just uses this right. Um, but I probably should have like something that gets the item. So, like in this Showtime service, there'll be something that gets the current scene item, a function, and and then uh, we pass that item around, but nobody should be modifying it other than that, so they would only get it from the getter. But if you wanted to update it, you need to um, you need to send it something and then it does the updates. It's probably the ideal way to do that from this point on, as we get more formalized. Right now I kind of have it to where like the the form updates the actual scene item, and that means, and then this animation form can update the actual scene item, and the um, well, that's not true. But like the actual form can update like the meshes, and then the mesh form can update. Like it's like you don't have any centralized place where all updates happen, which is going to make like import and export a lot harder, or a lot. It'll be more like I want one centralized place where all that stuff happens, so that import can work exactly like the animation form, and it works exactly like the mesh form, right? Like, um, if there's some sort of tweak that needs to happen to the object in the middle, as it moves through, it'll be really obvious that, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I just came up with a thought. I wonder if I make the wall, the floor green, the ground green. I wonder if that'll look cool. Um, Yeah, that is really cool. What if it's green green? Oh, it's kind of crazy because it looks the same. I think the light is yellow though. Yeah, the light is yellow. I think that looks really cool. Um, I think you could make like so then. Okay, so what if I make the text, the treasure text? Um, I called it prize. See, I was gonna call it prize, but then I thought, oh man, someone might see the image and then be like, oh, I can win a prize. Let me go over there. And I felt like that. I just don't really like the whole clickbait thing. Um, and so I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a clickbait person. Um, yeah, I can't get it to be like an aqua color. Um, Probably what I would need to do is change my light to be white. And then um, change the back mesh. Okay, well, we'll change this to be completely like aqua, and then change the back wall to be yellow. And I think that's a lot nicer. Wonder if I make the mesh like bold, because I know I have like a Gentellus bold. It didn't really make a difference. If I turn the bevels off, I don't know. There's so many things I can do, and I think that, like I said, I think this is very, um, very cool, um, very cool. A thing that I can make. But anyways, happy coding, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Bye.